Hello. Welcome along to episode 255 of Adventures in Pop. My name is Simon Jacobs, and well, you're incredibly welcome. Here we are at the beginning of another week, and it's a week in which my second track from this new set of songs that's going to be from an album called Organic in just a few months' time. Is the second track is out at the end of this week, and it's called It'll Take a Miracle. And I want to tell you a little bit about the song, play the song to you, share the new video, all coming up in this very episode. So I suggest you kind of just hang in there for a short period, and I'll just keep the kind of chatter and the waffle down to an absolute bare minimum, trust me. And first, if you haven't subscribed, well, I think you should, otherwise you're going to be very lonely. So this is just for your benefit. I just think it'd be better if you do. And of course, I'll be ever so grateful. So here we are. Look, last time round, a few days back in my last episode, I was basically sharing, my busy schedule with you, because it's not just me, it's also Rothman and Jacobs and Goldhawk Foxes all releasing in sort of material up to, the climax of an album for each one of those in the next few weeks, running up to basically the end of November. And it's pretty exciting for me as a solo artist as well, because I've got a single out on Friday called It'll Take a Miracle. Then there's going to be another one in a few weeks' time after that. And then another 3-4 weeks. And then the album comes out with a couple more promoted tracks, which will be singles as the album comes out. So I am breaking with, my recent convention, where I have, in recent times, over the last few albums, I've released 10 tracks and then the album, with not much degree of surprise because you've heard all the tracks. This time, I'm just speeding up the whole process. And there are a couple of really good things about this. One is you don't get bored of me going on about single releases from an album that just goes on and on for about a year or more. Imagine if I'm doing 10 tracks and it's 5 weeks between each track release, that's a year done. And one of the other things, and I've talked about this before, is if you spend ages releasing an album, by the time you've released it, you've got another couple of albums worth of material sitting in the store cupboard waiting to go. But gradually that store cupboard just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're kind of thinking, I'm writing something now that's not going to get released, for 2 years. And that can be a little disheartening. Sometimes you just want things to happen a bit more instantaneously. So by releasing this album more quickly, it means that we get to, other stuff after it a little faster. And that's, well, for me, I think that's rather exciting. You might just be thinking, well, whatever. I want to tell you a little bit about this single, It'll Take a Miracle. And as I say, then I'm going to show you the video, play you the song. I would love to know what you think. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I'm, as I've said before, big enough and ugly enough that, I'm just interested. I like the feedback. I can take the pain of the negative feedback just as much as the sheer thrill of the positive feedback. I don't mind. So It'll Take a Miracle. It is part of the new sound of Organic. It has a much more acoustic kind of guitar-y feel. In fact, this one is very acoustic guitar-y feel. And the acoustic guitars that you'll hear on this track are actually a bit of a mix of me playing and various different samples. And actually, that's a bit of I would say that's a kind of a way of working I've got quite comfortable with, which is using samples, but also playing as well. Because sometimes, look, samples can sound really great, but sometimes they just don't go to the notes that you want them to go to at exactly the right moment. And the easiest way to make that happen is to do it yourself. So you can't just sit back and say, well, I'll just fill this with all sample guitars, because remember, they've been recorded playing certain chords and certain notes. And of course, the idea is you go in and you manipulate that to your own ends. You make sure that it's, obviously playing the chords that you want, but sometimes you've got to think about, is it the right inversion of the chord? Is it doing exactly the right kind of rhythm of the chord? If it's not, then play it. Particularly if you've got, as I have, a kind of rudimental ability now to play the guitar. It's kind of, I think I'm at kind of junior school level of guitar playing now. I mean, I hope to get to senior school, but let's walk before we can run, as they say. So, It'll Take a Miracle. This song, acoustic feel. What's it about? I would say this is quite a hard-nosed song. I think it comes across a little bit like, oh, it's really sweet and friendly and full of love. Actually, I think if you listen to it, it's not. And I think, well, I'll tell you what it reminds me of. I mean, not in terms of how cool my example is, but Free Falling by Tom Petty. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Well, it's a fabulous track. But it starts out by setting out this kind of picture of, I'm leaving my girlfriend and I don't care. And, I'm not even going to miss her, I think is one of the lines. I mean, it's really, it's fabulous. It's mischievous and it's kind of subversive because you don't expect it. And he's basically saying, I'm going and I don't care. This has got the same kind of flavour, which is, essentially it's saying, it'll take a miracle to make me stay. So there's not much you can do about it. I'm off. And I certainly don't seem to regret it on this track at all. So I'm just packing my bags. I'm out of here. And it'll take a miracle to get me to stay because I'm on my way and blah, blah, blah. So it's a pretty hard-hearted song, I think. It's a song that I would say rather proudly lacks any empathy or warmth. But that is what the song is about. And in a way, as I say, it does that thing that I think some of my songs do, which is to slightly lull you into full sense of security by sounding like it's all, lovely, but only if you really concentrate on the words, I think you get the sense that all is not lovely at all. And then when I was thinking about the video, I wanted to make sure in the video that I'm emphasizing those rather cold-hearted words by actually leaving in the video. So I try to make sure that it's not at all ambiguous. I'm on my way, I'm out of here, and I don't care. So that is essentially what this song's about. I'll say one other thing about the performance of the song, if you like, which is the song is very much in my kind of middle range. And the good news for that is it means that it's not doing too much falsetto singing, which, I really enjoy doing, but can be a little bit tricky. And you've got to work extra hard to make that sound convincing and accurate, on point, etc. So this doesn't really do that. This one is much more right down the middle of my kind of range. So then when I was singing this, I was concentrating quite hard on sounding as completely relaxed as I possibly could do. I wanted it to sound like I'm not really making any effort at all. Because I think the less effort it sounds like you're making, the better. I mean, behind the scenes, you might be, paddling very fast and really perspiring in your effort to get it absolutely right. But it's really important, I think, particularly with singing, that it doesn't come across as me really straining and struggling to get all the notes and all the words and everything. Now, there's no problem on this one because, as I say, middle range, and it has enough time there for me to sing it in a way that sounds completely relaxed, and there's no issues with the breathing or the phrasing. It just aims to sound, I think it kind of does, just like I'm just thinking these thoughts have just come into my head and I'm just singing them. It's almost like I've never thought about singing this song before and it just comes out. That's quite a nice trick to be able to achieve. And obviously, it's completely untrue. You do work at it. I always work at trying to get the lyrics and the vocal as clear as possible and accurate as possible. But it's so good if it can just sound like, I just woke up and thought I'd sing this. So It's out on Friday. It's called It'll Take a Miracle. It is the second track from Organic. It is as acoustic as they come, and I'm going to shut up at this point and just share the song and the video with you, and by all means share it with lots of other people too. And one other thing, you will notice, those eagle-eyed of you, that this is the first time on Friday that I'm going to be utilising this kind of waterfall thing, which I've been reading lots about, and lots of people do it. I'm no way near, I'm not pioneering a new approach. That was done a few years ago. I'm now just getting to it now, where I'm putting the new single, It'll Take a Miracle, first, and then as a second track, which is It's You, which is actually the single that came out a few weeks ago. So it has another chance to kind of be heard. So you might notice that. It's a detail, but I'm interested to see if that makes any kind of difference in how this track performs on Spotify. And just by way of something rather exciting, is that I am hoping to speak to one of the guys at Reverie PR who are helping me promote these singles for this album, and I want to get one of them to talk to you a little bit, directly from them to you, about the approach they take, why they take that approach, why they choose these songs, not these songs, and how it works for them in terms of finding really good, legitimate playlists to work with. So that should be coming up in the next few weeks. It'd be quite interesting. I mean, I'm going to be as interested as you will be to hear the answers to those kinds of questions. So I've got to think of some good questions, and it'd be really interesting to see, kind of what they say. I'm asking them in a way to draw back the curtain and let us have a quick look around behind the scenes. Even if there are cobwebs and it needs a good sweep up, I don't mind. I want to see what's going on kind of round the back, because I'm really curious about that. Enough. Have a fantastic week. Sit back and enjoy It'll Take a Miracle, and I hope you do. And here comes the video right now. You take care. Bye-bye. I'm gonna fly now, I'm gonna fly now. Like a bird in the sky, I'm higher than the clouds above. Please don't cry now, baby, don't cry now. 'Cause soon you will see that there's nothing stronger than love. You're the Technicolor dreamer, you're the visionary. But maybe I'm not a believer. See, it doesn't work for me. It'll take a miracle to make me stay. It'll take a miracle, 'cause I'm on my way. It'll take a miracle, that's what they say. It'll take a miracle, a miracle. I'm gonna shine now, I'm gonna shine now. It's like I'm moving into color from black and white. And you will be fine now, you get your time now. You're in my mind even when you're out of sight. You're the Technicolor dreamer, you're the missionary. But maybe I'm not quite a believer. See, it doesn't work for me. It'll take a miracle to make me stay. It'll take a miracle, 'cause I'm on my way. It'll take a miracle, that's what they say. It'll take a miracle, a miracle. It'll take a miracle. I'm gonna shine now, stay.
I'm gonna shine. It'll take a miracle. It's like moving into color from the black and white. It'll take a miracle. You'll be fine now. Forget your time. It'll take a miracle.